Imagine sitting at a birthday dinner with 12 people around the table. Everyone is laughing, talking, enjoying the night. But one person spends most of the evening holding their phone, taking pictures, checking notifications, making sure the moment looks perfect online. Now imagine another person at the same table. Their phone never leaves their pocket. They listen carefully, remember small details about people's lives, and leave the restaurant without posting a single photo. And strangely, the host remembers that second person the most. Today we're exploring the psychology of people who don't share their lives on social media. Why do some people feel no desire to post their experiences online? Why do they rarely upload pictures, stories, or updates? In a world where sharing everything has become normal, people who don't post on social media often seem mysterious. Some people assume they're hiding something. Others think they're antisocial. But psychology suggests something far more interesting is happening beneath the surface. And by the end of this video, you might start seeing those quiet people, the people who don't post on social media, in a completely different way. But here's the surprising truth. Many people who don't post on social media didn't just randomly decide to stop. Something usually pushed them away from it. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Not everyone who avoids social media does it because they're extremely disciplined or enlightened. Sometimes the decision begins with a negative experience. Maybe they went through a painful breakup and watching everyone else's perfect lives online became emotionally exhausting. Maybe they shared something meaningful once and no one responded. Or worse, people misunderstood it. Moments like that leave a subtle emotional mark. Posting suddenly stops feeling fun. Instead, it feels like standing on a stage where everyone is watching but nobody is truly listening. For many people, stepping away from social media begins as self-protection. But what's fascinating is what happens after they leave. A few weeks later, something unusual appears. Silence. Not loneliness but quiet. Almost like a constant background noise has disappeared. And only then do many people realize how much mental space social media was occupying in their lives. But the quiet feeling people describe after leaving social media isn't just emotional. Psychology research suggests there's a deeper reason behind it. When we experience something meaningful, a dinner, a trip, a celebration, our brain naturally tries to absorb the moment. But the moment we start thinking about posting it online, something changes. Our attention splits. Part of us is living the moment, and another part is already thinking about how it will look to other people. Psychologists studying memory and experience have found that anticipating sharing an experience can actually reduce how deeply we enjoy it. Because the brain switches from participant to observer. Instead of fully experiencing the moment, we begin mentally packaging it for an audience. People who avoid posting on social media often notice this instinctively. They realize that when they stop documenting everything, experiences feel richer, slower, and more real. But avoiding social media isn't only about protecting experiences, it's also connected to a fascinating psychological trait. Psychologists use a term called private self-consciousness. It describes people who naturally focus more on their inner world, their thoughts, emotions, and values, rather than constantly thinking about how they appear to others. People high in private self-consciousness ask questions like, what do I actually feel about this moment? Instead of, how will this look online? In modern culture, much of life has quietly shifted toward outward performance. Likes, comments, reactions, and followers create a constant feedback loop that encourages people to monitor how they appear. But people who don't post on social media often operate differently. Their attention is directed inward. They evaluate experiences based on personal meaning, not external approval. And over time, this creates something extremely valuable, a stable sense of self that doesn't rely on constant validation. But choosing privacy online comes with a real social cost, and most people don't talk about it. In a world built around sharing, not posting can quietly change your relationships. People often stay connected through social feeds. They see updates, photos, small moments of daily life. But when someone stops posting, that connection point disappears. Suddenly, staying in touch requires effort. And the truth is, some people won't make that effort. Certain friendships slowly fade not because of conflict, but because the passive connection is gone. That can hurt. But something else often happens at the same time. The people who genuinely care begin reaching out directly. They text. They call. They make plans. And those relationships tend to become far deeper than the ones maintained through a feed. And this leads to the final and most powerful insight about people who don't post on social media. There is something many people describe after they stop sharing their life online. At first, it feels strange. You take a trip, but you don't post about it. You go out with friends, but there's no photo uploaded afterward. You experience something meaningful and it simply stays between you and the moment. For a while, this can feel unusual because we've become so used to turning experiences into content. But after some time, many people start noticing a powerful psychological shift. The moment begins to feel more personal. Instead of asking, "How will this look to others?" the question becomes, "How does this actually feel to me?" And that small change can completely transform the way someone experiences life. Moments stop being performances. They become memories. A quiet walk in the evening doesn't need a caption. A meaningful conversation doesn't need to be recorded. A personal achievement doesn't need public validation to feel important. For people who don't post on social media, experiences often feel more private and owned. Psychologically, this creates a stronger sense of authorship over your own life. Authorship simply means feeling like you are the main writer of your story. Not the audience. Not the algorithm. And not the expectations of strangers online. Your experiences belong to you first. And when people stop documenting every moment, they often reconnect with something surprisingly simple. Presence. Being completely inside a moment instead of half inside the moment and half inside the camera. This doesn't mean technology is bad. Social media can help people stay connected, learn new things, and express creativity. But when every moment becomes potential content, life slowly starts to feel like something being performed. People who rarely post avoid that pressure. They don't need every memory to be witnessed by hundreds of people. Sometimes it's enough that the moment happened. And strangely, those moments often become the ones they remember the most. Now I'm curious. Are you someone who rarely posts on social media or someone who decided to stop? Comment below and share your experience. And if you enjoy exploring the psychology behind everyday behaviors, subscribe for more videos like this.